What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Coach Approach. It's your coach, Blake the Black Baker, and today, we're going to be talking about, do mechanics matter? A lot of times you'll hear people say there's micro and there's macro. Micro being mechanics, that button presses, the technical difficulty of things, and then you got the macro, which is game knowledge. I know a lot about this game. Which one matters? Which one helps you climb more? Do you need both? If you want some more answers on that, make sure you stick around. Without further ado, let's get on to it. I will never stop this. I don't know. Let's go. Alright, so there's a lot of talk behind mechanics, there's a lot of talk behind game knowledge. Which one do you need more? Which one matters more? When it comes to mechanics, being able to outplay your opponent, being able to dodge skill shots, being able to go for really clean kills as smooth as possible is a plus. When it comes to game knowledge, being able to set up things and just making some really good fights around objectives, or being able to go ahead and plan out really nice team fights for your team that is unexpected. You get the jump on them. You know, that comes from game knowledge. So which one matters more? The fact that I can outplay opponents, the fact that I can win team fights just because I'm better than everybody, or because I'm able to outthink my opponent? Now, if you think about it, you can always practice mechanics. Mechanics are just very easy to practice. Why? Because it's based off reps. You play every game, you get reps. It's kind of like going to the gym, right? No matter how much weight, well, I guess it depends. It does depend on how much weight you do. But regardless, no matter how much extra weight you put on, you're still basically getting that exercise because you're doing the reps. You're still getting used to working out. You're still, getting yourself toned and whatnot. League is the same way. If I want to play 100 games of Riven, even if I don't practice game knowledge, I'm going to be pretty good at Riven. I'm going to get my reps down, and I'm going to be able to, basically pull off really cool combos, animation cancels, and stuff like that. If you guys are curious what animation cancels are, that's another topic for another video. But all these cool little things you can do, orb walking and stuff like that, that's all mechanics. And it is helpful. On the other side of things, the person that does practice, that game knowledge, is just a lot harder to do. How do you practice game knowledge if you don't understand what's the actual proper thing to do? Mechanics right in your face tells you I messed up, right? But game knowledge doesn't tell you you messed up. How do you know what call is bad if you don't know what call to make? You know what I mean? So that's why, in a sense, you will just hear people focus more on mechanics because it's just more obvious that you're getting better at them. It's more obvious that you lack them. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to game knowledge, it doesn't show. You don't know who's good or bad at game knowledge, even in your games. The only time you know someone has really good macro is if they are calling everything back to back to back to back. But what are the odds you see that? Whether it's in low elo or high elo, what are the odds you see one person making all these calls and everybody always listening to that person? But when they make an outplay, what are the odds where you see and it's like, oh, dang, that guy outplayed that guy. Exactly, right? So let's get back to the topic at hand. Before we continue though, make sure you guys use my discount code CLIMB at CoachBlaker.com for 25% off everything on that site, as well as if you guys would like to support me in making these videos, subscribe to my Patreon. That is why you guys are able to watch these videos. Make sure you guys, if you guys are in my Discord, you tell those Patreons thank you, because they're the reason why you're able to get videos like this. And then also, if you guys like free coaching, free VODs, join my Discord. Link description below for all those. CoachBlaker.com, 25% off. The code is CLIMB. Patreon, take a look at those. Exclusive videos, exclusive guys nobody else can see. Discord, free help, free coaching, free VODs. Keep going. So when I do coach, a lot of players surprisingly don't ask about mechanics. I feel like a lot of players think that they understand that they have a specific level of mechanics. The ones looking for help and advice always shoot to game knowledge. The ones that aren't shoot to mechanics. Isn't that weird? The people that actually want to choose to improve at the game are the players that want to think about game knowledge. The people that, aren't really on that level think they're lacking mechanics. So what does that say? The players that actually know they have something to learn, know that they need to climb, know that they need to best their opponents, they understand that there's more to the game than mechanics, which is why those players seek out coaching, which is why those players seek out reviews. This is why those players look and research stuff, because though they know there's more to League of Legends than just pressing the buttons. Whereas if you look at the players that just care about mechanics, the Yasuos, the Akalis, you know, all the players that just like button presses. You know those champions. They don't care about game knowledge. How many times have you seen those mechanical champions actually care about setting up a play, right? And when we're talking about supports, that's something that doesn't really need mechanics. There's Pobelter. I actually don't remember. I think he's a support. He's a jungler support. I forgot. You guys know. But he had an interview, and he said he doesn't really have mechanics. All he has is game knowledge. If he knows something is going to happen before it happens, that's all you need to know, right? You can see into the future. You can understand what's happening and avoid it before it actually happens. The same exact thing goes for mechanics, except you don't need the future. You're so fast that you're basically Neo from the Matrix, and you just dodging bullets, right? So at the end of the day, what matters more, mechanics or micro? Mechanics or micro? It's the same thing. I mean, micro or macro. If you can have both, that's good. But the bad part about mechanics is like you're gonna reach a rank where everybody's more or less gonna have the same mechanics as you. Whether usually it caps out around diamond. Like, unless you are like insane at one champion, you're probably gonna have the same average mechanics as like all diamond players. If you get really good at one champion, then your level is gonna be at like Grandmaster or Challenger. Challenger players and Grandmaster players, their mechanics are really good on specific champions. They can't just willy-nilly toss out a champion and just have godlike mechanics, you know? It is something that they practice over and over and over again. But at the same time, just like game knowledge, it gets to the point where there's a cap and you have to go out your way to get better at it. Just like game knowledge. You get to a point where it's, okay, I know how to set up objectives, cool. I know how to go call for Baron when we ace them, cool. And then you get to a cap where it's like, in order to get better at understanding the game, I have to go kind of beyond what I know. And that's how you would improve on both spectrums. So honestly, mechanics are easy to learn, easy to get down, easy to climb with, but it's going to get to a cap to where it's very hard to learn, and there's a lot more specificities, I think I'm right, to mechanics than you would think. And then as far as game knowledge goes, it's a lot harder to learn at first, but once you start learning it, it's a lot easier to understand the specificities. That is a word. I know it's a word. It's a lot easier to understand that once you reach that cap. So at the end of the day, mechanics are very good when you're starting to climb, yes, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, macro is gonna take you a lot further. So if you want to get somewhere faster, mechanics do that, but you'll be stuck for longer. You know what I mean? Because you have lacked the understanding of getting better at macro. And as I said before, mechanics are something you learn from game to game to game. That's not something you have to actually realistically look at and pay attention to until you get to the elo where everybody's mechanics are pretty much the same. Game knowledge, no matter what elo you're in, you're gonna have to constantly think about it, which means you're gonna be getting better at it every single game, but you have to actively be thinking about it, which is something that is very hard to do. Players can just get better at mechanics, get better at mechanics just by turning their brain off and pushing the buttons, right? If you're playing a fighting game and you just learn to push the buttons, push, you get better at it. Shooting game, well, duck behind cover, shoot. You get better at pushing the buttons, you can do it faster and faster and better. Like, the repetitions are easy, you don't really have to think about it, right? You just go do it. And as far as game knowledge goes, you just can't do that. You have to actively think about it every single game. And I feel like that's a lot of players lack because it takes a lot of discipline to be able to do that. And usually players that are in lower elo don't have the discipline. For example, a lot of players in lower elo, as I say, I offer free coaching and I offer free VODs. A lot of players in low elo actually skimp out on that. But there's just a lack of discipline between the higher elos and the lower elos. And that's pretty much what's affecting not only learning how to play the game at a game knowledge type of level, but it also lacks them the ability to go out and research, the ability to take the free stuff, not even just from me, but from other people. Like, there's a lot of things out there, and discipline is just the main thing keeping players from getting better, because it's always something coming up. It's always something why I'm losing. It's always something why I can't, go ahead and make it here. It's always something about this, about that, about that. Diamond players, the master players, the grandmaster players, and the challenger players don't make excuses because they know I need to get better at this and I need to learn. As I said, the players that actually come get coaching from me, more or less 90% of the time, is talking about, I need to get better at game knowledge. Okay, well, I don't know how to carry my lead. I don't know how to set this up. I don't know how to make team fights better. Like, all that's game knowledge. Mechanics have nothing to do with it. If you want to climb faster, focus on mechanics. You'll climb faster, but you're gonna hit a rut and you're not gonna be able to climb anymore. And you're gonna have to start all the way from down here because we didn't learn the game knowledge. If you learn game knowledge, you don't really have to learn mechanics, and even so, you're still learning mechanics without even thinking about learning mechanics. So learning game knowledge is 10 times better than learning mechanics, because mechanics doesn't really do anything for you versus someone who's actually just smart, right? When you're thinking about chess, pick up the piece, move the piece. What's so mechanical about that? But everything going on in there is how they win the game. League of Legends is that, a game of chess. Pick up your piece, move your piece. Everything about winning the game usually comes from in here. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I do have a schedule, but I don't want to share that schedule because sometimes I don't abide to that schedule and you guys get mad at me. So I'm not going to tell you the schedule, but I do have a schedule to be posting these videos and whatnot. If you guys, like I said, would like free coaching or free vibes, make sure you join my Discord. If you guys would like to support me on Patreon, get some exclusive guides and things like that, please click that link below. And if you guys would like 25% off of my coaching, discount is Climb. So type that in when you purchase the coaching from CoachBlaker.com. Discounts Climb. Boom, bam, sham-a-lam. There you go. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for approaching this like a coach.